pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
We gather this evening in a spirit of service and responsibility. We recognize the trust placed in this council by the people of this community, and we commit ourselves to honoring that trust with integrity, transparency, and respect. May our decisions reflect the voices and needs of our constituents, guided by fairness, thoughtful judgment, and a shared desire to strengthen our community. Let us remain mindful of the principles outlined in our city charter, using it as both a foundation and a compass for our work. And grant us the wisdom to listen dutifully, the courage to act responsibly, and the humility to serve for the greater good. May our efforts tonight contribute to a community that's safe, vibrant, and inclusive for all. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. Jennifer, can we have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Ambrose,
Here.
Arnold,
Here.
Gunther,
Here.
welcome back.
Thank you.
O'Rourke,
Here.
Shenzing,
Here.
Woods,
Here.
Locke. Is Locke online?
She called.
She did. Thank you, sir. May I have a motion to excuse Councilmember Locke?
Ambrose will make that motion.
O'Rourke, second.
Thank you. Do you want a roll call for that or just all in favor?
I think all in favor.
Very good. Thank you.
Anybody? No. Good. Okay. We have a quorum. Any requests for agenda changes?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to discuss extending the 2 times per month meetings. I believe this month would be the last month that we're meeting twice a month, and I still think we have plenty of business to do. I'd like to at least add that to the new business of a motion to extend that for another quarter.
Okay. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to put it in the
I don't know how
new
this
business? I think we can do that now. Anybody? That's a motion? Anybody second, Dennis?
Yeah, second.
Any discussion?
No, I think we have a lot of work to do, and I think it's warrants extension. How long did you say?
Another quarter.
Okay.
Any comments? I think that's a good point. Can we have a roll call?
Yes. Arnold?
Yes.
Locke is absent. O'Rourke?
Yes.
Shenzing?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Gunther?
That was me.
Thank you.
I went for you.
I'm looking down. You all signed the same up there.
Okay. Any other agenda changes? Okay. I just saw that the last council meeting, we did talk about adjusting and making the discussions at the end. Did we do that in the agenda?
Yes.
Yes, there are 2 audience
Okay.
participations on each
Okay.
agenda.
So for everybody in the audience, probably anybody want to state what we did?
You want me to state that?
Well, yeah, let's just,
Sure.
so the audience.
So what we did last night is we passed a motion to split the audience participation. So the first audience participation will be specific to agenda topics topics on your agenda. And then any other topics, we're moving to the back of the, towards the end of the evening's meeting, where it's another audience participation that will be for at-large questions, at-large conversations. So anything for audience participation on the first part is specific to agenda items, and then the second audience participation is general items.
I just want to share that that's because we're having trouble getting through our primary agenda.
Yeah.
Thank
So we
you.
had to make that adjustment
Yes.
to make sure that we get our business completed.
Yep, that's exactly
Great,
right.
great work, thank you. The approval of the minutes from March 3rd. Jen, do we have the other council meeting minutes yet?
No, those are typically, the minutes are done at the second meeting of the month. So this one
Okay.
was tabled from the last meeting of the
Right.
month for further information. So that's why I placed it on this agenda. There
Okay.
will be 2 minutes for the next April 21st
Okay.
meeting, the 17th and this evening's meeting.
Okay. Anybody approval of minutes?
Ambrose will make that motion.
Shenzing will second.
Okay, roll call.
O'Rourke?
Yes.
Shenzing?
Yes.
Woods?
Abstain for being absent?
Thank you. Ambrose?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Audience participation with respect to the minutes or the agenda. Sure.
Good evening. My name is Michael Lons. I work at 850 Ladd Road. I'm the proud superintendent of Walled Lake Consolidated School District. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to the council today. I'd like to share a few thoughts on the agenda item related to the 90-day, the exemption from the 90-day PUD moratorium. If I can, I'd like to ask you to consider that the documents for the development were submitted well before the original moratorium was enacted. This development will increase the number of homes available to Walled Lake, and we all know that there's a home shortage in the United States and in this area. I think that would be a positive thing for Walled Lake. It will convert an open space into a usable area for the Walled Lake community. It will increase the number of residents who live within walking distance of the Walled Lake downtown shopping area. And it will provide over an estimated $300,000 annually in tax revenue. More important, we've had a great working relationship with Walled Lake. As a matter of fact, on Thursday, our Board of Education will be voting to again participate in the Memorial Day Parade. And we look forward to continuing that relationship. So I ask that you keep these thoughts in mind as you consider our request for the exemption to the 90-day PUD moratorium. Thank you.
Thanks, Doctor.
Any other audience participation for the topics? No? Okay. Mayor's report. I want to thank everybody for their courtesy while I was, I lost vision in my left eye, and it was actually due to the Great Lakes Water Authority conference calls when we lost water in the city. I was so angry about it. I actually saw the blood start to go into my eye and my left eye, lost vision. I was a kaleidoscope in my left eye for about a week until the doctor took me in. I had what's called a vitrectomy in the eye. They scrape it, they laser it, and they try to get all the blood out, stop it from bleeding. I was actually still bleeding when I went in for the surgery. So, wow, was that crazy. I have a grand newfound respect for anybody who has lost their entire vision or at least one eye, because it is impossible to get around and not run into stuff, hit your head on everything, bend over, throw things in the garbage when you miss them. That was crazy. I really was not functional until a little bit in the middle of last week. I was able to sleep for about a week after I laid on my face for like 2 weeks after the surgery. You had to lay on your face 80% of the day. That's impossible. So I think it's liability thing because they know you can't do it. So then if anything goes wrong, they can say it's not their problem. But I really, really thank everybody because I'm now, the eye that I had surgery on is now clearer than the other one that I didn't have surgery on. So it was really I can't explain how bad it was to go, oh my God, I've gone blind. And the doctor had said to me, look, we've got to make sure the other one doesn't burst while this one's bad. And I said, well, how do we do that? And he said, I don't know how, we just can't let it happen because you don't want both of them bad. It was a really interesting time. I want to thank everybody for your time. Dennis, you did outstanding at the council meeting. Thank you very much. And everybody, appreciate your time and effort. That's really all I've got because I'm now back with the living and I've still got to get my taxes done.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't see for 3 weeks. It was impossible to get anything done. I didn't really do accounts payable, accounts receivable with my personal business for 6 months. So a lot of work to do there. Thank you, everyone. And I think we can go. Thank you very much. And again, I got newfound respect for people who have lost their vision. It's not fun. So with that said, attorney's report.
Yes, the first item that I have for council tonight is the, and it's already pretty much been introduced and covered by the superintendent. We were contacted and requested to provide some update on where we were at And the result of that is that, you know, the superintendent, who is the representative of the property owner of this pending PUD application, is now before the council requesting some relief from the moratorium in order to allow the PUD application to move forward. So that's what is before you tonight by way of the school board's request, the property owner's request. Under the current PUD ordinance, there is a substantial amount of discretion both ways. I think you could basically do whatever it is you would do under a new ordinance. I don't think proceeding under the current ordinance is really going to in any way hinder council from doing what it would ultimately do if we were to wait until we went through the full amendment process. And as council knows, it's a more involved process. It really does involve more than just amending the PUD ordinance. It's about developing new design standards for the city, and obviously, as you know and have experienced, that's going to take some time. So so they are requesting that the council allow them some relief from the moratorium, so that their application, which as he indicated was filed several months prior to the moratorium taking effect, so it would be up to council to decide whether or not to grant that relief.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, because I was a driver of this moratorium, and I agree. I believe I'd like to move to lift the moratorium on the PUD. I believe we made some changes. It's gone through first reading. It's got to go to the Planning Commission, which we need to talk about next, I believe, because even if you lift the moratorium, it still can't. If we don't have a quorum in the Planning Commission, it's still in the same position. The project's still in the same position. But I believe it going to the Planning Commission, we can make the other small adjustments that are needed during the public notice section, and I think we can resolve the PUD. So I'd like to move to remove the moratorium on the PUD and allow PUD projects to move forward.
I did prepare a draft resolution.
But I think you said just for this one and not for other ones. I don't.
Right,
I don't.
right.
I think we can just lift the moratorium on the PUD altogether, and we'll deal with the couple changes that still probably need to be made. They're minor adjustments, not major adjustments at the Planning Commission. Which still then comes back to us, right? So for a second reading.
Right.
Do we have a second? Anyone?
Yeah, I'll second.
Second? Do we have a roll call?
O'Rourke,
This is to remove it in its entirety,
Remove the moratorium, yes.
Right.
not just isolated for the school
Correct.
board. Okay.
Correct.
Yes. Do that.
Shinsing,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
But I think that the next issue is the Planning Commission, not having a quorum on the Planning
Yeah,
Commission.
why don't we go through with recommendations for filling the various positions that we had. Yeah, you want to go through? Wow,
Yeah,
okay,
let's
we
do the
can go through the rest of it, but I want to
We'll add that.
close session after we do that.
Well, is that something we need to add to new business? I don't know, help me, guys, so I don't.
Just to consider the mayor's nominations to fill the vacancies on the.
Yeah, otherwise, we're going to have a lot of people that may just want
I
to.
mean, it just, we're
No,
just
I
kicking
think-
it down the road because they're gonna get to we can't get a quorum at the Planning Commission, and therefore the project's
Stop.
on hold
Right.
still.
Not just that
Right.
project, just
A lot of projects,
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely.
specifically that project, yeah.
No, I think the council can consider the mayor's nominations at this point in the agenda.
Okay.
I think that's
I think that'd be appropriate, right? And then we'll go with the rest of
Correct.
the report.
correct.
Okay, the list. I'm sorry, because I'm not on my game this week. Some would say I'm never on my game. Wasn't a good sports guy. They were listed in here, weren't they? Jennifer, did we have them?
It was part of a separate email that I sent to you, but I do have the applications here that I could
Okay.
say out verbally if you want.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hand them to you.
Yeah.
Are you able to?
You can verbally go through what we had put together. Thanks, I didn't print anything before I came
So
here.
we received an application for planning commission for Mr. Brian O'Leary at 202 Witherall.
Yeah, don't think Brian came tonight. He had something going on with his mother-in-law. Brian's he's a longtime resident, been here for a long time, knows the city, knows the area, and is committed and obviously cares, which is more than you can say about a lot of
Want me to
people.
go through all of them?
Well,
or
I think,
individually?
I
Okay.
think we should, do you guys think you need to have the interview with Brian? I think most of you know him.
I would prefer an interview. I mean, I don't know him that well. I'm sorry. I mean, I have nothing against him. He seemed fine on paper, but I think it'd probably be, I'd feel more comfortable holding a standard that we talk to the applicant as a group.
And I'd like to hear a little bit more about his motivation to be on planning commission, maybe a little bit about any experience that he may have with it as well. So I support what Jamie's saying there.
Yeah, do we want to wait for another meeting to do that? Or do you guys want to individually
2
do it?
weeks.
I think that would be up to you, Mayor, right, for your recommendation?
Well, it's my recommendation, but you guys have to decide what you're gonna do, right? If we wanna wait 2 weeks, it's just another 2 weeks on the moratorium, right? Because we can't do anything without a planning commission, but that's
I think
fine.
we should move ahead and have a vote. That would be my recommendation, but I know Mr. Leary, so
Yeah.
understand your concern.
Casey, what do you think?
I mean, I know Mr. O'Leary as well, so I'm happy with voting right now. I understand your concerns and I respect them. I just think we owe it to the community to continue moving the community forward with developments and giving people at least the opportunity to present them.
Dennis, Russ, anything?
Already
You said,
contributed.
yeah, you said you want to interview, you want an interview too?
I mean, that's my ideal path forward,
Okay.
especially for this commission. How many do we have on it today? 2?
2 current members.
So we,
One includes a council member? And we need 4 for a quorum?
Right now, it's a 7-member board, correct?
So how many nominees do you have today?
So
Yeah, go ahead.
can I answer that? Or do you want to answer that?
no, go ahead.
Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
For planning commission?
Yes. So I can invite all of them or
So
whatever
you
you
have
guys
more applicants than seats.
Would you
Aren't
like
there-
to
Well, we
do a-
need 2. We need to
Would you
get
guys like
2
to do a special
on
meeting?
by next Tuesday, right?
Jennifer, do we have all the, because I've got some that are like Parks and
only have
Rec. I've
4.
got,
Those are all the planning commission, and you do have some that are park and rec. That is a
Voters.
full board. You do have others that also apply to the building
Traffic
authority,
safety?
DDA board, which is also full.
Yeah.
So I sent
You
you
have traffic
everything that we
safety too,
have.
right?
You had 6 planning commissions on that first, or did you send another email?
No, that was on the first.
You guys want to do a special meeting? Anybody available any other night this week?
I think the planning commission is next Tuesday meeting,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying.
So we need to have it done before next Tuesday. At least 2 more applicants. Are there 2 applicants here today?
There is one?
One?
One right there, yeah.
Let me help.
Please.
please.
The mayor's nomination is up for a vote, up or down. If he withdraws it, to delay it, but if he delays it, then we back to square one.
I think we could do a
You
special.
got to vote up or
We could
down.
do a special meeting, Dennis, if
And
anybody's
it's
available.
no disrespect to any of the applicants or any of that, but if the mayor has the right to nominate, that's the law. You have the duty to either approve or not approve. again, the discussion says the mayor can withdraw it to another date, but then that's going to delay it, so you folks have a tough call. The mayor has a tough call. Got 7 people to pick from, but you got to pick one, or 2 in this case.
Based on the comments, you guys feel uncomfortable doing the nominations without interview? Or, doing the vote without interview? I'll rescind the nomination, or I'll leave the nomination there for pending the interview. Doesn't really matter to me. But when will you guys be available to do a special meeting? I could do a special meeting in what, 24 hours or?
Yeah, for me, it's important to have during a council meeting, right? Because then we're getting it on YouTube, right, and the residents can see what's going on. I'd rather prefer to do it during a council meeting.
Is there any
And
reason?
I had a chance to go through, so at least for me, I'm kind of all set, but I'm just one person.
Right. I hear it. Is there any way, if we do an open meeting, special meeting, can we record it?
Special meeting's legal, it's a question of how you want to do it. You know, like we miss out some things, but even if you don't do it and we wait another month, then everybody delays. I mean, it's not a death knell, it's not killing anybody, but it's delaying it. Then
Anybody on council have a problem with a Thursday night? Is there like a Final Four game or something?
Which Thursday?
This one. This is Tuesday. You can go out Wednesday. We could say open meeting, special meeting, interviews for various boards, and have people come on Thursday. We can hear them all at the same time.
I'm not going to be able
I will say, Mayor, I will be out of town and unavailable for that meeting.
I'm not going to be able to make Thursday either.
Okay.
So I'm ready to make my decision.
Yeah, then we probably need to move forward.
So we're gonna move forward with 2, and then we're gonna make the moving forward. Like I'm willing to fast track because the urgent need of the city. I mean, I think I'm comfortable with that. I'm gonna lean on heavily on my peers to steer that ship. However, I think moving forward, I would like to say that for new board members, we'll bring them into council meetings and we'll interview them.
I like that.
Is that part of the process right now, today? What do we have to do to make that part of the process? Because I agree with that. I think, for me, at least for the planning commission, I think it's an important enough commission that they should be interviewed by either the mayor or the city council member, in my opinion, and then they come before this whole city council for us to ask questions and get to know them and see if they're a right fit for us. But I don't know where that process is and how that changes, how that gets changed. Do I need to move to make that change?
It's as simple as this. I mean, it's not really that complicated. We'd like it to be more complicated, but the mayor gets to pick who he nominates, and you get to vote yes or no. It's not that difficult in the past, I guess, because it was a small city, everybody knew everybody. Now it's a little different because not everybody knows everybody, and if I'm on a board like you guys are, I don't want to vote for somebody I don't know. But the mayor has to make that call, and again, you're in a kind of an interesting spot because we do need to fill that, and administration wants you to fill it. So we have a board, a planning commission, but at the same time, if the city council's not comfortable voting tonight, then we will delay it and call a special meeting. So either way, welcome back, Mayor. You got a tough call tonight.
I'm ready to vote. So.
Sure, I can vote.
So then we got to go through the list, and if someone's not here, well, let's go, because there's important ones that have to get through, right, to get a quorum there. Anybody that you, guys, I don't have a problem with it. Anybody else you want to pick, but let's go ahead and vote on. Hey, Jen, why don't you read the list of names? And if you don't know O'Leary, then that's fine. Maybe there's someone on the list that you've met and you know. And let's pick 2 hot ones, and we'll leave the other ones for a later date.
Can we start with the person that's in the audience? How we start there?
Sure. Sure.
Bashy?
Bashy?
Ms. Bashi, yeah. Could you come up to the podium?
Introduce
Hello.
yourself.
You might have to adjust the mic, so speak directly into the mic as best you can, okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm known as Lena, even though my name is legally Linda Bashy. I have lived here for 25 years, also known as the Sheriff of Shoreline. For those of you who don't know, I ran Shoreline Condos, the president there for 18 years. When it went into tip-top shape, that's when I took over. So anyway, I've been with the city. I feel like I had that little corner of Shoreline, got rid of riffraff, made it a rental, took it out of rental community. And I also, basically now we're capped. So we changed some amendments, made some changes. We're making changes from 1985 on a lot of the different things. But anyway, I used to run a salon in Birmingham for 22 years, for those of you who don't know that. And then I bought my own place out in West Bloomfield. It's a salon and spa. And I'm a good leader, good director, quick learner. And I'm willing, I have time now to volunteer and help the city from not just the corner, but add another 2 miles to my, to my journey here. So I think I'd be really good at it. And I do want to be a part of the city. And I would like to have the opportunity to be on the Planning Commission.
Awesome.
If you have any questions, I know most of you already know me, so.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can only echo what Ms. Bashy has said about herself. I've known her for a long time, living in the city. She's truthful, she's honest, and she knows how to get places cleaned up in a quick fashion. That's exactly what we need in Walled Lake, and she has my vote, most definitely.
Thank you. You guys
100%
have any
agree.
questions for me, anyone? Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's great. Roll call.
Are we nominating?
Oh, I'm sorry, did I have to say that? Yeah,
Your approval.
go ahead.
With your promotion?
Yeah,
Councilman
not,
approval?
yeah, okay.
Ambrose
Second,
will second.
roll call.
Give me just one moment. Okay,
Finish the thought.
yes. All right, this is to nominate and appoint approval for Ms. Bashy to the Planning Commission. And we have Shinzing,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
O'Rourke,
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Great.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you too. Appreciate you doing this.
Okay. So the next application is Mattel Amin to Planning Commission. And then there's an Anthony Switek to Planning Commission. And then there's a Stephen, and please excuse how I pronounce the last name.
Use check.
Pardon?
Use check.
Juszczyk.
It's got like 37 consonants.
Yeah. He also applied to Planning Commission. And then there is another resident, Lauren Martin, and she applied to Planning Commission and 2 others.
Okay.
I don't know all these people, but
Right.
from a background scenario, I think the 3 people that seem to have good backgrounds for the job would be Switek, Amin, and Martin. So,
Yeah. I think at this point, if there's other people that come up and they think and we think they're qualified, Methel said she would join for as long as we need.
who's that?
Methel Amin.
Oh,
Woods will make the motion for Martin, for Lauren Martin.
I'll second that.
yeah, she's the realtor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think it brings a good perspective to that
Yeah.
commission.
Plus it gets the other side of town, right?
Yep.
As we're spreading out through the boards and
Yeah, that's
commissions.
good. That's good,
important.
actually, yeah. Okay.
All right, Lauren Martin to the Planning Commission. Is that what I'm understanding, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
O'Rourke?
Yes.
Shinzing?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Thank you.
And could I suggest we do just one more in case next Tuesday night, one person can't make it?
Sure.
I mean, these people, they're gonna find out that there's a meeting next Tuesday, and, you know, who
Yeah.
knows if they,
It's not during a Final Four game, is it?
no, it's over.
Okay.
It's over.
Thank God, okay.
Would that be an additional person on the
One-
planning commission?
No, just one more of the
So we only have
list.
4 right now.
Yep.
Which gives a quorum, but if one of those people can't make it on Tuesday, we don't have a quorum.
Let's vote
still.
for another. I
That's,
agree.
I'm just a,
Yep.
Can I ask a question? I know last week or last meeting, you guys discussed amending it from 7 to 5. Are you gonna keep 7 now that you have enough people?
That's in the
for
new
it?
business section.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we'll discuss it. That's all right.
Oh, good question, yeah.
I think we'd love to have 7. My thing was just, we don't have to have a minimum of 7. If we had a minimum of 5 and still had 7, that's great.
Right,
That's my thinking.
yeah.
7's great. You have to have odd though, so.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have the 7. You know, if not
It sounds like.
more than 7,
If we can get there, it sounds like we have enough people, so
right? Good, so
we need one more.
Switek, you wanted to
Is there
nominate,
a
you wanted to nominate?
Motion for Anthony? Motion for Anthony?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? I'll second.
Okay.
Okay, roll call on Anthony Switek. Great guy, by the way.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk and follow up with him. Yep.
Switek, Ambrose,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
O'Rourke,
Yes.
Shinzing,
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, somebody going to tell
Then
them?
Get the rest of them here the next meeting.
Yes.
Is that the plan? So we can hear from them?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. If not a special one, but we'll do it at next meeting. So if we can get that added to the next agenda, it'd be great. Okay. Do you want to just go on with that and we'll do the rest of them at the next meeting? You guys, anybody?
So we're talking about me stepping down from Planning Commission as the city council representative, and then Russ, based on his extensive experience in the past with Planning Commission, moving into that spot. Would that be a mayor-appointed transfer, or does that go through a,
Oh, yeah, I have to recommend you.
okay?
I don't know, I'm not sure you're qualified.
You need me to get up there?
Yeah, we could do that if you want. It makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
That would require the mayor's nomination as
Right.
well.
So he's gonna resign.
Really serving, that, this is the way it evolved. You're not serving because you're a council member, you're serving, you're allowed to serve if the mayor does that, but the mayor
Right.
still makes the appointment.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you've resigned or if you're gonna pull out,
Yeah,
then the mayor's nomination would be appropriate.
and reason being is Russ has had a tremendous amount of time on planning commission and commerce, and we can't blame him for that atrocity at the Circle. I've never seen anything like that thing. But he's got an extensive experience, and I think it's a really
Just
good
ask them
idea.
when they're gonna put the barbed wire out.
Oh, yeah, it looks like a jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I nominate Russ Shinzing to replace Dennis. You actually have to resign, but,
I will. I'll send a resignation in.
or can we do that verbally?
Whatever.
You can accept if.
I
you can do
accept
that
his
verbally.
resignation.
You can make a motion to accept the resignation of the mayor pro tem from the planning commission.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'd like to recommend Russ Shinzing for the planning commission position. That keeps us at the 5.
Woods will make the motion to accept the mayor's recommendations.
Russ, are you gonna second?
I don't think I can second. I have to recuse
Dennis?
myself.
Second? Somebody second?
Welcome aboard.
I'll second. Arnold's a second.
I'm like that as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll call on that?
Arnold,
Yes.
O'Rourke,
Yes.
Shinzing, we'll skip over, Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that makes sense. We'll do the rest of the recommendations and for the other board seats next meeting.
And invites will be sent
Yeah.
out to them.
Jennifer?
I'm sorry. yeah.
So can we make sure we get invites out to the people that are on the list for the various board seats?
The remaining planning commission applicants?
Yep, and the rest of them, everybody on there, everybody wants to, I don't have a problem with the interview process. I think it's a good idea. We were in a little bit of jail here, right? But even for I don't care what boards are really important, but we should do the same thing, right? So just get to meet them and then vote on them. So we'll do that for all the positions. And I know we did do the setting up the traffic safety board. Didn't we vote on that?
Yeah, and
So I know we have a
Jay's
bunch of
place.
applicants looking at that.
Yep.
That's gonna be easy enough. So if we make sure we get the invites out, it would be good to do that. Okay. Van, you get the rest of your report? Because I think that was important to do.
Yes. Next item is DM Motors. As council will recall, you instructed me to send a final notification to DM Motors regarding their lack of an approved site plan and special land use for their automobile dealership operation. I went ahead and did that as council had requested. Gave them 30 days to submit a revised and updated site plan and special land use application that addresses the deficiencies that were previously identified by the Planning Commission. Last time they were before the Planning Commission was in June of last year. And they were informed at that time of the deficiencies and what they needed to do in terms of their submittals to get it to a point to where the Planning Commission could take action on it. So I did provide them with those minutes. I provided them with the consultant reviews that also call out and identify the deficiencies as well. So they've got everything at this point that they need in order to identify what it is that they need to do to bring their plans up to date, and so that they are so that they meet the minimum code requirements, so that the Planning Commission can take the action that it needs to take on the application.
Does that include unloading cars in the middle of Maple Road and Decker? Does that include?
That was called out. That was called out. That's been called out, I think, pretty much every time that they've been reviewed. But yes, that was one of the deficiencies that there was a lot of discussion about that particular point the last time that they were before the Planning Commission. The fact that they needed to have an inviting area on their lot for the car deliveries, and that it was the lack of an area on their lot that the trucks could easily access and get into that was sort of deterring the trucks from using their property and instead using the street. So that, yes, there was a lot of discussion about that. They have been, that's been made very abundantly clear to them that is one of the items that they definitely need to address.
Okay.
Yeah. And Dennis, I remember when we met with them, they had said anything that they had a contract prior to a certain date. I can't find my notes from that sitting, but from a certain date, because I know we just saw the truck on the road again, right?
Three times.
Yeah.
Since we had that sit down.
Yeah, but I think if I remember correctly, and I don't have my notes, if I remember correctly, they had a certain date.
It was that Monday after we met, and that was in February, I believe. So they violated it. They never recognized that they were going to do that.
They changed it. They had changed, for everybody's understanding, they told us they had changed their shipping address to the one on Decker.
Directly north. Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
So that would have been better then, but apparently the truck drivers are still stopping on Maple because it's easier.
And there are some legalities behind that as well, right? Using the site next door because it's not part of their site plan, and we don't have anything written that they can do that from the business. So there's a lot of gaps in that as well.
Yeah.
And they never acknowledged, they never did it anyways.
Yeah, that was one of the deficiencies that was called out, that if they're going to use that neighboring property to the north, then they needed to include that as part of their site plan submittal, so that we could have all the details as to exactly, how that property was going to be used for their automobile dealership uses.
Okay. Did we get a response from them or a phone call on your
I
letter?
have not received any response from them. My letter went out, I believe, about a week ago. So they essentially have till the end of the month, May 1st, to get something in.
Did you use a courier or a signature on that? A signature required, so they can't, thank you. Okay.
Yes, yeah, it was sent certified.
Okay. Yeah, and the
Somebody
other,
received it, but I mean, it is an Easter week, right? Maybe they're
and they have
pile
time.
of mail. I have a pile of mail. It's just because I couldn't read anything.
Yeah, they have time.
Yeah. Okay.
And the other part of it, what was a driver of this course, is one of the audience participants had they observed, of course, that with the new Speedway gas station going in, that cars parked right there in front of where that Speedway is going to create increased traffic issues, increased risk of accidents and all that. So there is some urgency to getting this resolved as that gas station gets closer to opening.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay.
Dennis, you want to go back again?
No.
No?
I like those guys. I think they have a great
Yeah.
business. I'm glad they're here. They've got great cars, you know, but we've addressed it with them a bunch. We sat down with them, so I think if they'd shown any effort to adhere to what they had promised, that'd be a different story, but it just doesn't seem to be working, so.
Okay. Want to invite them to the next meeting? Because it'll probably be late, right? They only have a couple
Yeah,
days.
Yeah, if they want to come and talk to us,
Why don't we
absolutely.
try, somebody to get a hold of them and invite them to tell us what they're going to do at our next meeting? I think that's at least
Yeah,
appropriate.
we want to work with them. We've shown that. I mean, we've been very upfront with working with them and doing it in a kind and friendly way to support their business, but they're just not responding.
So Van, do you think you can make that happen?
You
mean,
would
it's not like they're
them
far
to-
away.
You would like them to,
I'd like them to attend the next council meeting for a discussion, right? We've tried. You got to do something, guys.
yeah, I don't think you can require them to do that. That wasn't part of my demand letter.
That's okay.
But certainly someone could, and if you want me to do it, I could do it. I could reach out to them and say, hey, you know, this is something that council would like to see. You know, it's not something you have to do, but, you know, I would strongly encourage you to at least consider it.
Yeah. And then we give them an opportunity to tell us why they keep violating what they told us they were going to do. And I would feel better that we continue going forward with the process if they have a chance. Yeah. So if you wouldn't mind, let's please make that happen. We need a motion, Van, or you got it?
No, I got it.
Okay.
I don't need a motion.
Okay. What
All
was
right.
the third item is,
Yeah, that's a
Closed
closed session to discuss confidential attorney-client communication. I'm not sure exactly when council wants to do that. We do have the new business item on the planning commission ordinance amendment. If it's council's preference, we could do the closed session after you have your discussion on the planning commission ordinance, or we could do it now. It's council's pleasure.
Can we do the new
to,
business and then do audience participation and wrap up with a closed session?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
what
way-
you could do is make a motion to enter into closed session to discuss confidential attorney-client communication, and do that at the end of the meeting.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion then to move the closed session for confidential attorney-client communications to the end of the meeting, and then move forward with new business, council comments, and mayor audience
But is
participation.
the motion to go into closed session at the end, or
end.
just to
Yeah.
move that? Because I have a question on this. I'm not sure what the attorney-client confidentiality is of the documents you gave us. We didn't ask for anything. We don't have a attorney-client relationship, I don't believe. So I'm trying to figure out what's confidential about what you sent us.
Well, it's a confidential attorney-client communication that I prepared for council regarding a legal matter.
Well, no, I think you prepared something. I mean, we didn't ask for it. You said you wanted to prepare something to speak to our issue that we brought up a couple of meetings ago.
Correct.
So why wouldn't that be a public record? Why can't we have that on the public record for all to see?
Well, it's,
it's not pending litigation.
Right. We're not in litigation. We're not in anything. I believe you just prepared a brief of your opinion on our issue. And I don't know why that can't just be on the public record, why it has to be a confidential discussion. I'm just wondering.
well, it's a legal review on a legal issue that the council brought up, and I prepared my legal review and recommendation on that issue.
Well, what's confidential about it? I guess what I'm trying to figure out, what's confidential that it can't be on the public record for all to see?
Well, that's up to council. If you want to do it in open session, that's up to you. But that would require a motion by council to do it in the open session rather than the closed session.
I would make a recommendation that we probably table this, so that way Councilman Shinzig can do some homework, right? So that way you can follow up with your questions on the legal aspects of it, right? To make sure we're not going down the route to create something that could get sued in the future, that we're following what the process is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what more I could find out. I don't believe, like, there's no client, between us, there's no client attorney relationship.
There is.
Well, there is,
There is. There absolutely is.
but there's not pending litigation or.
That's what I'm saying, there's no litigation, we're just, he prepared something.
Well, there's potential legal exposure.
I agree sort of that we should table the secondary part, but I think we should have a discussion
Okay.
private.
Okay. I'm just
So,
trying to figure
so recommend it. I recommend we do that. Somebody
If we
want to?
do, so again, if we go into closed session and we decide, can we decide in the closed session that whatever we discuss could be made public at some
You
point?
can make a motion of whatever you want and we
Is
vote on it.
Can that happen?
I don't see a problem with it.
Well, we would go into closed session, then it would be up to council, individual council members to make whatever motion that they wanted to make following that closed session.
Okay, okay. That's fair. Thank you.
Anybody want to make the motion to go into closed session?
Ed O'Rourke, I need a second.
So we're going to close session after the.
After.
At the end of the meeting.
I'll second that.
Arnold, thank you.
Roll call?
O'Rourke,
Yes.
Shenzing,
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any unfinished business? We got nothing on the agenda. New business was the reading. Do we want to, do you want to read the amended portion? Or do we hold?
So I
What do
think,
you want to do?
I didn't know we were gonna have 6 applicants, so I think 7's not, at this point, a problem. I think
Absolutely not.
When we talked last meeting, 5 was a problem.
Yes.
I don't think 7's a problem now, so I'm fine with keeping it at 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Withdrawing then?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to make the motion to withdraw it? I'll second it.
I move to withdraw the reading of C 37926 amendment to the Chapter 58 Planning Commission.
What's the second? Thanks.
O'Rourke,
These things are-
Yes.
Shenzing,
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes. Okay. Council comments?
Can I bring up one item?
Sure.
Chief Shakinis could speak on Decker Road and the traffic there. We asked him to follow up on some of the heavy trucks going through. So I think he has some information he can share. Decker Road, Leon, Walled Lake
Yeah,
Drive.
Yep,
and-
I see him out
Yes.
there.
traffic is definitely a popular topic. I've had several conversations with several council members regarding traffic and how we can start to get ahead of that. So I provided this to Councilman Woods, and obviously I'd be willing to provide it to you. So we have 4 radar signs in the city. 2 of them are, I would say, semi-smart, and 2 are smart. Those were purchased in '22. These all traffic solutions. What they are is they are a radar sign, a traffic counter. They also take pictures. There's a couple reasons for that. They are not by any means 4K or anything like that. We're not spying at cars. But it does give us an idea of make and model, so that we've had repeat offenders been able to track down and be able to issue citations based off that. So as you look at the graph, what this is the last week of March. We have our 2 smart signs are out on Decker, just north of Leon, and one catches northbound, one catches southbound. I believe this is, can you scroll back up for Chelsea?
Northbound.
This is northbound. So what you see on here, it's on the left-hand side, it's showing by hour, and at the top, it's also showing by speed, 5 mile per hour segments. And at the bottom, it shows a traffic count. Decker Road in particular, 14 mile was closed at that point, where you could only go westbound, And that section of road saw 30,000 cars in a week span. A lot of cars. So the question is that as you see that graph, the high numbers are highlighted in the darker gray, and then second and third. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that our officers out and about and our signs are out to give us smart data, so that way our officers are out there when we're seeing the issues. And what we see is that the speed limit on Decker Road is 35, between 14 and 15 mile. When you look at that, we're talking about 2% of the people out of 30,000 people are above 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. Now, there are some spurious readings we do see. Radar's not perfect. For example, Chelsea, can you pull up that one picture?
Hope it's not me.
So this is one. This is the picture. So this was northbound Decker Road, right by the. That's not the Dogwood. So that's Chittimawood. Leanna's right, or the car you see over there. What you see is a man with a backpack blower. Now that actually caught that, and that was a reading of 84 miles an hour. Now we didn't have a car that went by at 84 miles an hour, but there are some spurious readings. So go back and do the other two pictures for me.
What? Yeah, what are the physics behind why that would have happened?
Well, if you get stuff flying at the radar sign, it is sensitive
junk
enough to pick that up. We try not to.
Junk in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
So we call those spurious readings. So this is catching for southbound. So you see the vehicle. Now at night, what we see is headlights. So it's definitely not perfect, and it picks up about 60% of the cars. So this is what we do to make sure our officers out and about on the road when we're seeing the issues. Obviously, morning rush hour, afternoon rush hour. So what we've been doing is officers have been spending time down there taking numbers, and have written, I believe they wrote 10 tickets in the first week, right down there for speed alone. So we're going to continue to focus on a road at a time. Next, we're probably going to look at East Lake. But I met with Jay Easter last week and had conversation with him today about the Traffic Safety Committee, and we're going to meet next Tuesday, if it's nothing more than just him and I, to start coming and taking a look at what we can do. That might include, with the manager's permission, maybe some more radar signs with forfeiture, get these smart signs out there. So I would say we see probably about 60% compliance with people just driving by, aren't paying attention. They see the sign, they might flash at them. They're going to slow down. 40% don't care, on their phone, doing whatever, and it's going to take a police officer to pull them over and write them a ticket to slow them down. But we do see some compliance with these signs out there, so I'm definitely a strong proponent. But just kind of an idea of what we're doing. We want to use data-driven enforcement to make sure we're out there making a difference when we need to be out there. So if by any means, if you have a road or have a section or have complaints, let us know, and we can put these signs out there to get some data and find out when and where the issues are. I also do think it's helpful when you stand alongside the road, and I live on a main road like some of you do, and sometimes it looks like the cars are really flying. And when these signs go up, it gives you an opportunity to really see what the speeds are, and sometimes that's helpful. So just kind of an idea of what we're doing.
Yep. So Paul, do we have mobile ones so you can
Yeah.
move them around?
Yep,
They're-
so these-
okay, so we're not fixed.
Yep, these are not fixed. They have lithium-ion batteries. We have to change. We actually had to purchase new ones, and they're kind of expensive. The winters are hard on them. But they usually need to be changed out about once a week. So an officer goes out, we'll either move the sign or replace the batteries and move the sign, that type of thing. So
How many are we talking that we would want?
so it obviously is helpful in pairs. Again, they're about $4,800 a piece. And then it's $1,500 for the subscription service to get in to be able to pull this data remotely. There's a cell phone, they upload with 4G data. So that's all included along with the warranty. So that's about $1,500 a year per sign. So there's a cost to it. But having a couple more of these might not be a bad idea to help make sure we're doing that. But I want to sit with the manager and make sure we have the funds available, unless we're do something different. But
Well, I would think we've got enough to get two more,
In
Dennis.
years past, if you folks remember, there was a big box that used to be on wheels that said like
Yeah.
Wall Lake on it. That was the earliest model of this, and it had all kinds of batteries inside it. Well, they've improved it a great
Oh,
deal.
yeah.
The tech has improved, so what we got here is a pretty good device. It shows what we're doing. The best example I could think to report to the council is we had fatalities over on Pontiac. And coincidentally, we had a neighboring security camera. They got a picture of the accident hitting the tree. But what was just as important is the sign caught the driver going how, 98? How,
I believe it was 98 miles an hour and a 45 mile an hour
going
zone.
98 miles an hour when he hit the tree.
Ouch.
Resulted in 2 fatalities, but it was this sign that caught that. Otherwise, you wouldn't know how bad that really was. Resulted in 2 fatalities, but the sign does give us an indication of what people do. And so, again, they would put up one on every street if we could, but, you know, it's a budgetary issue, but probably it's time to talk about more, so.
I don't think it's a problem if, I think we can find the money for that, Dennis. You think we can find the money for it if we vote on it now?
Want to have our last little workshop, but then budget sessions kicks in very shortly. You folks get to make those calls. And
We still have a few months left of this year.
well, we're going to start working budget like, again, Saturday.
Yeah.
So you guys get to start making those calls, and we'll put it on the table so you can call it. You know, this is what it costs, updates on costs. The chief's more than willing to put that on the table. So, yeah, you'll be able to talk about that very shortly.
I'll throw my $50 a meeting in.
You'll be able to talk about that.
But, so,
You know what? He
do we
brought
have,
up-
do we have a budget? Can we pull from anything we've got a surplus?
We got a couple of bucks in the surplus.
So why don't we, does anybody want to make a motion on getting them 2 more? Because I think it sounds like you want them, it looks like they're important.
I think
It's telling some data.
good
We don't have to
for
wait
the,
for budget
the
time.
chief to bring the details, so that way you can see the spec on it, so you know what it is. And we're 2 weeks out, right? I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But it gives you a chance to see some of the
Sure.
detail that they're looking at, right?
But
Sure.
the Mayor, did you want to try to do it in this year's budget? That just requires a motion and.
Right, that's what I was thinking, but if
Yes.
I like Ryan's approach, let's
Call
take a look at it
now,
today.
and We'll
Yeah,
adjust
Yes.
the budget. and
2
bring
weeks
back-
difference, you okay with that, Paul?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Of course you are.
yeah, I mean, geez, oh, Pete, you watch Leon and it's like scary,
Yeah.
right? And I actually
I don't know what you
got pulled over for not paying attention and being 10 over, right? It's like, ooh, it's a neighborhood, right? And I actually said to them, dude, I don't know why I did that, but I wasn't paying any attention.
I would also
It is
concur with the
dangerous.
chief that the people I thought were flying, when I did see the sign, I'm like, oh, that's only like 7 over.
Yeah.
It, you know,
It feels like
it
they're
wasn't
going-
as fast. I thought they were going 50, right? And they were going, what,
32 and a 25 is.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels.
No, yeah, that's good information. I did share with the residents that were asking over on Decker. I think one more thing to add that kind of drove this discussion was the big trucks coming off of the 14-mile project, right? So following up with Chief Shakinis, at least for the data, right, on the traffic, and then also from DPW and Dan Ladd, right? They got with the road commission, and they had the weight scales out, checking to make sure those trucks weren't overloaded going through the roads. Because part of the reception there is, hey, you know, heavy trucks going on a road, you know, half loads, 3/4 loads, right? They're actually in process doing proper, whether if they're on Leon, right, we should probably be calling.
Well, all the way.
Residents should be reaching out about it, but at least the road commission, with the help of Dan Ladd, right, making sure that those trucks going through there where they're weight
Yeah.
requirement.
But I've seen them on East Lake Drive, double tandem.
Yeah, so we should, if it's not allowed there, we should be calling the police and tell the residents to call so they can follow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 14 Mile obviously creates some challenges because the project at Downer has to get done. Unfortunately, the way they have that with one way, the trucks come down, they can only come down and dump onto East Lake, some of them. So that, I would not feel comfortable issuing citations for the trucks that are coming through there. But I understand the council's concern that heavy trucks on East Lake is not something we're looking for. So that's a conundrum.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but they could back out. Right, sucks, but it's just I don't like to see it on East Lake Drive. It's bad enough what the street looks like, the double tandem trucks. I mean, an empty truck is probably a problem for East Lake Drive. Okay, so I think that I like that idea. Let's wait for 2 weeks, and we'll put it on the agenda for unfinished business next week or next meeting.
But yeah, that's great information, Paul.
And also, we set it up so that actually an email goes out to the entire department. We set a certain speed when these signs are out there, and the entire department gets an email with a picture, the speed, the time, so it's constantly reminding them. The officers are on duty, they can respond and, address these issues as they come up.
Thanks.
We cannot, no. Unfortunately, in the state of Michigan, an officer has to see the infraction. We don't have traffic cams.
So I don't want to use this as a revenue generating tool, but I would assume your time is much more efficiently used when you get these notifications. Do you have any data that can correlate your efficiency of actually catching the heavy perpetrators that are excessively speeding?
So what it does is it puts us out there at the times we know there are issues.
Correct. So have you seen your citation issuance increase with the use of these signs or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. We should probably have, when we propose things, we should probably ask for a cost benefit, right? Hey, look, I'm getting this in revenue from the tickets, and we are better using our people, and this is the annual cost. Because at some point in time, you go, okay, $1,500 per camera. Same thing with the flocks, right? There's an annual cost of those. We should probably introduce the process of cost benefit analysis to show that what you're doing makes sense, right?
Well, and there's no question that in the surrounding communities, such as Commerce Township, even Wolverine Lake, Milford, they're putting up a lot of homes in big neighborhoods, and we're becoming a larger pass-through community as people are heading from point A to wherever they're going to. And I think just 30,000 cars during that 1 week on Decker supports that, and plus what we see with our own eyes. So I think that that was a huge issue when we're out talking to the community. To running for council positions was the concern with traffic and speeding and such. So I think these are absolutely necessary and warranted expenses, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing to help kind of get people. It's fine that they're driving through, just stick to the speed limit or as close as you can. So,
As officers are out there, they're going to start issuing citations, have been.
Yeah.
You're going to start hearing your neighbors are going to get tickets, the business owners are going to get tickets. Those are things that's going to happen, but that's part of the downside of it, but we got to slow people down.
Yeah.
Thank you, council.
Yeah,
Thank
excellent,
you.
Paul.
Thanks for your preparation.
Mayor, since he mentioned the police, we might want to touch on the kind of activities going on in the villas as well, since we did a report on that we didn't get to council because of various things. Are you prepared to give a quick review of, or do you have it? No?
Of what?
The review of the calls at the villas. Sure. Because that's been a big issue about what the cost is in the villas. I don't know if you're prepared to do that, but it came up tonight.
All depends on what
I'll
they
do
ask.
it at the next meeting. Of all of the calls we get, the villa is very, very busy, if you will. Most of our calls are, you offhand, can you give a quick report on that? And if we need to improve on it, we can do that at the next meeting. But
Yeah.
since the chief mentioned his public safety side, I want you to get yours into.
Yeah, so we do respond to a lot of calls at the Villa. We talked about that in budget meetings, the Villa, the Fawn Lake Trailer Park, and Eagle Pond high-rise and townhouses. Those three complexes probably make up a third of all of the fire department's calls that we go to. We go to Eagle Pond and to the Villa on a weekly basis. The Villa, we go there almost every single day. We were there, we've already been there today, at least once. So, Councilman Woods, do you remember what the number was on the last 3 years that we shared with you?
The number you provided, that we did share with them, 2023 through 2025, I think it was 509.
Yeah, I think it was like 509 calls in the last 3 years, just at the Villa.
Wow.
Just at the Villa properties.
That's a lot.
So, yeah. Pardon? Oh, so, and we're averaging, last year, we did just shy of 1,100 total calls for the fire department in total. So in the last 3 years, we did, 500 of the calls in the last 3 years were just at the one location.
Just a point, we can bring you specifics up. We did bring that up at our workshop, talking about the activities, stuff like that. So we'll put that back on the agenda for the full council, again, not only at the budget sessions with the council, but at the next council meeting again. So let's get that in the packet at the next meeting.
But there's no state reimbursement for that, considering we can't collect any taxes for that property?
No, we get a payment in lieu of taxes. They call it
Right.
the pilot thing over there.
Significantly lower
Everybody,
than.
I'm not sure there's anybody there in the big building, which we kind of know as the villas, who pay anything. It's funded by the
Right.
government. I think in the back, some of the buildings in the back, which are associated with the complex, they pay some taxes, but then they're subsidized housing as well. So again, that was a fight that took place many years before we all got here, and the state won. And so they built the building, and it was for different folks. And now.
But who does the state thinks is going to service these?
Well,
these
I
complexes?
mean, Ross, that's part of what we talked about with the PUD and the planning commission, that you have to look at it from a perspective of, is this development going to increase the burden or load on people, on the city, right? Not even just the, the sewer system and the water system, but public safety, right? And if we don't start looking at that, we just build another building, right? I'm glad they stayed and hung on to talk about their issue of going forward with the development, but you add another housing project and you're going to find the same problem, right? That's why I said if it is expected to be a burden, yeah, you got tax revenue. If it's a rental unit, rental apartment place, you're trying to reduce the cost and value of your property every year so that you don't have to pay as much in taxes. If it's a burden on the city, then they have to pay for another fireman or they have to pay for another police officer, because it just doesn't come for free. While we're not going to have that done right away, that's what's got to go in there. The cost impact studies, not only the facility impact studies, but the cost impact and traffic, right? Then we had it listed as, it's nice to have something if you want to do it. And that's why I just wanted to change everything to must and shall rather than may and could and nicety, right? That is insane. I mean, from a dollar perspective, that's a lot of time. Right?
It is.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief. Hey, thank you.
Okay. I had one question, Dennis. I know at DDA, we talked about just fixing the ADA problem with rudimentary construction work. Did we get anywhere? Because I know it wasn't talked about at last council meeting.
Well, we didn't vote on any of that other than the discussion is, and remember, we've got 15 years at least of talking about doing a whole project. Now you got a couple of new people who are saying, don't do any of that, just do the little bit. The answer is we haven't moved forward with anything, any concrete. We can do that, but in order to do that, I'll be bringing back to the DDA, if you will, a plan to do that. That still takes an engineering study. It still it's the same thing, only on a smaller scale.
Yeah, we were talking about just painting the lines, and maybe we were talking about painting lines, giving the access for the ADA spot, and then fixing it, having Dan and his guys fix a sidewalk.
DDA votes for.
I thought we did vote on it, but
I don't believe you voted for it. I mean, we're going to move forward on that because that's the minimum of what we got to do.
It gets us out of jail.
We need to fix that. We need to undo the thought up at the Fed level, wherever that is at this stage. I don't think they're going to enforce that. I think that was a whole nother enforcement team. But we need to provide access for the ADA folks. But we haven't done any of that yet. That takes another study, where you put that. Otherwise, you find yourself right back into the same problem you got. And then the access to the buildings and stuff, none of that's changing. Those people want it done. They just don't want to pay for it.
Right.
So that's the fight you guys will have to deal with. But we haven't moved in terms of giving you a report on how to do it. Of course, Public Works Director and I have already talked about it. The superintendent, it's like we're going to have to contract that out. We can't do all of that stuff without an engineering study because we got to comply with ADA. And so we got to do all of that. But we haven't gotten there yet. So the answer to that is we haven't gotten there.
All right. Because I think we did vote to go forward and figure out what to do. Okay.
That doesn't stop us from doing that.
Okay.
Vote to do that means we're not doing the other project. And I'm not sure we've made that conclusion. There's been 15 years that we're redoing downtown and 2 people come on board and we're not doing it again. So if it's not clear to me what we're going to do other than as a minimum, we're gonna fix the ADA problem. That's
Well,
what I know.
yeah, I think, well, my recollection is it was, let's do that so we're out of jail. We don't have to rush forward with the project and do something without real good.
We're not rushing it, that's for sure. That's
Right.
why we slowed it down. We were slow
Yeah,
walking the
okay.
ball now.
Yeah.
So we get a clear picture of what.
Love
we're
it.
doing. We do have the money to do certain things downtown. The question is, the new board may want to do something different, and that's their prerogative.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, Dennis. With that, we've got council comments. Jamie?
I guess I want to thank everybody for posting the contracts up online, so thank you for that. I do think that I would like to, thank you. I would like to get a proposal on the board just to make the website kind of agnostic of the person, bring some of the common things. Like, I do have a presentation, but I don't care to show it. It's pretty basic, but just kind of showing that, like, bereavement is like common between every role, so we could just have that as like, here's some of the benefits that the employees receive and everything like that. But I think the initial thing that we wanted to get was done, so I just want to thank you guys for being so forthcoming with that. I do think that there's some nice to haves and efficiency boosts we can have by just putting some things differently on the website. I'll make some proposals that are more thorough. On maybe the next meeting or two, I'll bring that in and just kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, and we can decide if we want to do it that way. But I would ask if I could get some of those documents that were shared previously as Word documents and not PDFs. That would make my life a lot easier going through some of the stuff. But maybe I can talk to you offline, Jennifer, see if that's possible or something. Just so I can pull out like those common pieces and just, like I said, make a nice, clean, person agnostic. Here's the personnel expectations of how it's structured.
You can pull them and translate them in Word.
Yeah, I did put them into Word, and it's a hot mess.
Oh.
Formatting's all.
Yeah, the formatting is all buggered up.
Oh, so it's a picture, not a.
No, it comes in, but there's like weird spaces everywhere. It's like the font changes size and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen that too. So that shouldn't be a problem, right?
yeah, I would hope so. And maybe, like I said, Jennifer, we can talk offline if there's an easy way that you can do it. If it's open office, Word, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's likely just the way they save it.
Yeah, because I think it's saved as an image, and I'm OCRing it essentially out of the image.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. We don't need a motion on that, do we? I don't think so. Okay.
Yeah, I have some comments. Did anybody else have comments?
Already completed mine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple things. First of all, I want to thank City Manager Dennis Witt, the staff, for preparing for the Easter egg hunt for Parks and Rec. Unfortunately, of course, we had to cancel it due to weather. I think everybody saw the weather. There was a lot of thunder and lightning in the morning. We couldn't get a clear, definitive answer as to how that was going to look between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So I want to thank the police chief, fire chief as well for everything that you did. You're ready to go, and it's just one of those situations. And I think we got the message out early enough as well so that we didn't have people showing up. So thanks for the hard work that went into that. And I know that's disappointing not to be able to do it. Also for Parks and Recreation, there's two other items just to be aware of. I'm not sure who exactly did the redesign for Facebook Walled Lake Parks and Rec, but that new website looks fantastic. And we're getting that out to everybody so that you'll have more awareness of what's going on with Parks and Rec, such as summer concert series, market days, and such. And then also you'll see we're working with the Detroit Institute of Arts this year for what's called the Inside Out program. You may have seen this at other parks around the community. It's coming to Walled Lake in the next month. And you're going to see large boards that are put up with different art on them and descriptions of what this art is. And it's a way that Detroit Institute of Art does a reach out to the community, or an outreach to the community. And it'll help bring people over to our parks to appreciate not only our parks, but also the Detroit Institute of Arts. This is zero cost to our city. Detroit Institute of Arts comes out and puts the boards in April and takes them down in September. The DPW team will do some maintenance around it, such as weed whacking and cutting around it, but that's all. So it is zero cost to our community, but yet we still get the opportunity to have this nice artwork. They'll be displayed at the beach, Hiram Sims, the trailhead, and then also right here in front of City Hall. So you'll see those pop up in the next month or so too. So I want to thank Parks and Rec for getting that arranged for our city too.
Excellent. Casey, anything?
No comment, no. Happy Easter.
Ross? Dennis? I already did mine.
Okay, audience.
Yeah. Audience participation? We have a lot of people.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth Novitsky. I live in East Bay, 138 Sandy Lane, just for the record. In 2015, we took a vote in our community, and we overwhelmingly voted to put boat slips in at East Bay. We have 315 feet on the water. It's huge. We have riparian rights. Anyway, 15 people voted no. The rest said yes. So our board was up against these people trying to get the boat slips in. We paused. We worked for about, I don't know, 6 years maybe, hard. We worked with all of you. And now we have new board members who wanted to address that again. And now we have new faces in the crowd here. So what I'm asking you to do is just have the possibility to revisit this situation. I'd like to be on agenda, answer your questions, meet with you, whatever you want to do. But hopefully we can get somewhere this time. Not tonight.
Yeah, not tonight. Mary Beth, we'd be ready to like at least give a little spiel at our next council meeting, 2 weeks? 2 weeks Tuesday?
I have to look at my calendar, but I can do that, sure.
Okay.
And I'll provide some documents.
Yeah, if you get with Jennifer, Jennifer will put that on the agenda. Get with the front office.
Right, and I'll
then
get
we'll
information
add
to
it.
you so you can all look at where we were and where we have to go if possible.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other audience participation? Yeah, come on up.
How you doing?
Good.
Fausto Begale. I live on Leon Street.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. What was the name again?
Fausto?
Fausto?
Fausto Begale. 501 Leon.
Okay.
The cut-through street.
Yeah.
14.5-mile road.
14 and a half. Ah, that's awesome.
But, yeah, my concern's the traffic, which we can't do nothing about. But these speeders, I'm telling you, you know, you can't give out, you can give out a ticket going 1 mile an hour over, right? That's what I'm hoping to do here. You know, put a sign underneath the 25, enforce, and start catching these people. You know, 30, 35, 40 miles an hour down the street. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's 25, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
How many
this time of
signs do
year,
we
there's
have?
people walking, you know,
Oh, yeah,
biking, whatever.
4. There's 4 signs. Is that
I believe 4 signs.
is
yeah.
that enough for the length of that road?
Well,
So we usually put 2 out. We can.
2 on each direction, or they're?
Yep, we can put them out tomorrow, Mayor.
yeah.
I think that's probably a good idea, at least.
We used to have the cameras, and
They have been down there, and we
Yeah.
obviously
yeah.
tried enforcement, but the project on 14 Mile unfortunately puts a lot of
Puts a lot of
traffic.
pressure on you. Yeah.
So you're getting some more cameras. So, can you get pictures and just send the guys a letter saying,
I can't do that.
"Slow down"? No. Yeah, it's a problem. I'm telling you.
I recognize
I
that.
called RA 3 or 4 times. You know, it goes through Oakland County, and the police comes down the road, and
I mean, the problem with where your house is too, it's right over the hill, it's right at the bottom of the hill.
right at the bottom of the hill, by
Yeah,
the condos.
I'm the other way, I'm at the top of the hill.
Okay.
So, yeah, we get the other side of it,
Yeah.
where you don't see them coming until.
Yeah, like
see 'em
you got,
coming.
you know, pick up speed to get up the hill or something, or they don't use their brake coming down the hill, or.
And that is
It's,
part of the- I'm sorry.
been going on for years, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're definitely aware of this, and this is part of the discussions we're having with our police chief all the time. We talk about East Lake Drive, Leon, Decker, Pontiac Trail, so Leon is absolutely part of this
Right.
concern that we all have, and I'm glad you came up and spoke to it again
How
this
about the
evening.
gravel trucks now? They're supposed to be empty? I heard they're supposed to be empty, coming down our road.
I don't have an answer for that.
They're supposed to be.
Supposed, well, I've seen a couple trucks with dirt in them, so. All right, appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The water project on 14 Mile has been brutal for the folks on Leon. There's nothing we can say to make that better, and it's been ongoing for years. And no one should have to have that, but. here we
Yeah.
are.
Dan, do you know if they're still on their timeline?
Yes, they are still on their timeline.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the real solution is for this, other than
The solution is
enforcement.
writing tickets.
Yeah, enforcement.
Signs are not the solution.
Right.
Putting a car.
Can we get a cardboard police car?
60% ignore them. If we start writing tickets and they see the blue lights and the red lights and the tickets, then you start getting the phone calls, because trust me, a lot of those people speeding are residents. So,
Well, they're residents, but they're
when they
residents that
call,
are speeding
tell them to see
in a
this
20,
meeting.
in a 25 mile per hour family. But there's kids walking out there all day long,
A
right?
lot of them are residents, some of them are not. But after this, you're going to see the chief is going to assign a whole lot more cops on Leon for a while. And that's going to mean tickets. That means each one of you will probably get a phone call.
I'm good with it.
And you'll say, well, congratulations, slow down.
You can't excuse yourself from being an idiot in a neighborhood, right?
Sometimes we forget, sometimes we
I forgot, and I rightfully so, I got pulled over.
I've
Right.
been pulled over myself, and so
Yeah.
I get it, but you got to pay attention.
That was
So,
a couple
Chief,
years back.
After this discussion and that gentleman spoke, I expect a couple of reassigned officers over there for the next couple of weeks.
Please. We can do that.
Thank
So
you.
I personally think we should really pursue enforcing, because it's the only way to change the behavior. I think we all agree to that. The chief and I spoke about this maybe a few months ago. I think it might be beneficial if we are going to take a consistent hard stance. I mean, to me, I want it to go longer than 2-3 weeks, but to give a message out, because I think you guys are going to get the brunt of it. But even if it's our own residents, we got voted in on this is a thing on our
Yeah, absolutely.
ticket. So you got to have the consequences to change the behavior. So maybe there's something we can do on the website and say, you know what, we're cracking down. So you
that's
better
it.
check your speedometers
Maybe get if we had any newspapers.
or the Facebook. News.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important that as the enforcers, you guys will probably get some guff, but I think we as a community need to come together and really push for this, and that would be.
Chief, 2 officers. Next 2 weeks.
I look forward to hearing.
Extra.
Be down there myself. Last week I was on Decker. I wrote a couple speeding tickets myself. Can't ask the officers to go out there without, showing that we can all do it, so.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Chief.
Take care of it.
I go out and say, shame.
Yeah, that's crazy.
On your bicycle.
Councilman Shinzing, I'll be in your driveway tomorrow morning, so.
You know it's open for
Well,
you.
yeah, I was almost thinking maybe we should park one of the vehicles right in front of his house for a little while.
No, they do. They right in the access road. They sit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant actually in your house.
Oh.
He has good breakfast. That's wild. Anybody else? Rick, I think, Rick, you were going to say something?
We good? To go?
Name?
Can I go?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, please.
Rick Greenwell, 395 West Waldeck Drive. This stuff is coming from the March 3rd council meeting. During the last election, there was some shockingly disgusting and potentially dangerous packages that were mailed out and sent to a Walled Lake candidate for office. We all know about that. We all heard about it. It was on the internet. But the last meeting, Mr. Witt, you told us that you got the same package and that you knew who sent it. Well, that's great news. Did we catch the guy? Any updates?
I think you sent it.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh.
Probably. You're one
Way
of
to go, way to go.
You're one of them.
Okay, well, at about a little over an hour into that meeting, you went on a little diatribe, sir. And what you said was, why did they have to bring in someone else who's gone from the system? I don't know what you're talking about. But then you continued, why did they bring up the greenhouse? They're gone.
Yeah, why did you?
And you continued, leave him alone, let them be gone. That was you.
Why don't you?
You just brought him back. I hope he's not watching. Well, actually, that sounds kind of scary. Are we safe? Do we need to worry about this?
We worry about you. I do.
Okay.
Because of your past, your history, your perversion. the statements you've made, the history of it. You are a danger to the
This is coming
public.
off my time, by the way.
I know all
I
about
have
you.
a few things I'd like to
Your
say.
history is rich.
I'm not here to hear him. I'm here to speak as a resident.
No, you brought my name up, and I never met you before I found out who you were. And the remarks you
know you
made about
either.
people, what you did to the other employees while you were employed here. And so, yeah, you have a rich history, and everybody knows about it, yet you pretend like you're some special community resident. No, you're a really sick man.
Dennis, yeah, well, you gotta stop. You
I
can't-
don't have to take it.
You don't have to take
Yeah,
anything.
he said that at the meeting. You're not gonna take.
You don't have to take anything, but
You mentioned my
You're gonna
name.
take this.
I know
Dennis,
who he
it's
is.
okay, don't go back and forth.
He talked about raping people in the park when he was an employee. He talked
Dennis.
about smelling girls' bicycle seats. He's a pervert. That's who you are. And everybody knows it. That's why you didn't get elected.
Dennis, please stop.
Gavel me out. I'm tired of the bullshit from him and the people. I don't have to take it. And you shouldn't allow it to happen.
Agreed.
Gavel me out. I shouldn't be saying it, right?
No, I'm saying,
You know who he is. You all know.
I know who Rick is.
May I continue, please?
Yeah, you've got a couple minutes, you got a minute and a half left.
Less than 3 minutes in total, so sorry about that.
You're not sorry about anything.
Mr. Witt, you kept referring to they have an agenda. I think we're seeing right now who you're referring to, this they, and that's good. Everybody has an agenda. They lost their argument years ago. Yeah. You mentioned fighting to the death to protect your own contract. Well, that's good. It's a little bit strong wordage at a council meeting if you're asking me. And then a little over an hour also, you said it's all supported by the group. I think I'm part of the group. I'm not sure.
You're part of the group.
Thank you. The group will pay too. I will nail them all.
You're part of the group.
You said that.
So? You're part of the group. That's why you're here. That's why you're representing people. That's why you continuously attack me. You don't know me. I've never even met you up close. But I know your history because that's why you left here.
All right.
Well, you pointed out that I'm in the group. That's great to know. The other people in the group I feel sorry for because you said you're going to make them pay, you're going to nail them. And I got to ask you something. When you were saying all that stuff, were you speaking professionally or personally? Because you were sitting right there at a council meeting talking as a city
that's how I
manager.
know who you are.
Okay,
I
I got
protect
about
the people from you.
30-second wrap up, please.
Do you have a wrap up?
Yes, right here.
Okay.
Outlandish.
Timer went off, Mayor.
Yeah, I know.
Is council granting additional time?
I'm gonna grant him an additional.
He ranted. I'm standing back here while he's ranting. Can I please get my total 3 minutes? That's all.
Yeah, go ahead. We got.
Outlandish and unwarranted threats like this should be unacceptable in the city of Walled Lake. Any Walled Lake employee who speaks like this should be held accountable. Any employee. In this case, the responsibility falls on the council since Mr. Witt is the highest paid and the highest ranking employee in the city. And as such, he should be held to the highest possible standards of anyone else in the city. Council should set a precedent for any and all present and future employees.
Thank you, Rick. Any other audience participation? Step up.
Hi, I'm coming as a good neighbor here and changing the subject. My name is Janice Lenhart. I live 232 West Walled Lake Drive. And a lot of you I don't know, or I knew some of your family members, or I do know Mr. Witt. But I'm coming tonight because I got some interesting conversation through the past week here. One was a phone call. I am a 5th generation in Walled Lake, believe it or not, on my dad's side, and 3rd, I guess, on my mom's side. In fact, my mom lived where East Bay was. That was her family's property way back. Anyway, and I have a cousin on Leon who will be thrilled to hear that I'm sure he could use his driveway too to park cars. Anyway, I'm coming tonight to talk to you about the Foster Farm Bank Stolbeer House. I think Mr. Witt remembers that I've worked on that for several years. Some of you probably have not a lot of information. I'm not here tonight to explain it all, but I've been working on the project since about 1996, and I donated the $1 to buy the house, so don't throw a stone at me, because the city didn't want to pay for anything at that time. Mr. Vaughter, Phil Vaughter, was the city manager at the time and was very involved in helping organize and have the get-go with a partnership with the city to have the building moved to where it is. Understandably, I know it's a park. I knew the Riley family, and actually that was part of my dad's family's property before it was the Riley farm. So I would think that Parks and Rec would probably incorporate this into their park proposal, if so be. But a lot has happened. I'm here as a good neighbor. I live kitty corner, sort of, so right now with no leaves, I see that building when I get up in the morning, out through my dining room and my kitchen, and I'd like to see it happen. It's a very unique building. Understandably, it's not on its original site, but I'm here to remind you that through the state of Michigan, there is historic designation, 3 different ways: architecturally, the site itself, and also the personage. And I believe that I'm currently the president of the Historical Society, which is housed in the Stonecrest building. And it's available still as personage. So I'm here as a good neighbor to pledge that I'd be glad in any way that I could help. I too have just come over a lot of illness, have 2 new hips, and I'm still kind of wobbly, but we do have a lot of good information, and I'd be glad to help in any way I could to see that something positive for the community comes of it. I know at this time it's probably like a thorn in someone's side, or, you know, but with that thorn you can get a beautiful rose. And I think with the history of our country right now and the uniqueness of it to the city of Walled Lake, and the multiple purposes that show a great tradition in our community. What's the logo on the police car? Pride in our pride in our past,
Faith in our future.
Faith in our future. So I'd like to hopefully encourage you to really take a look at it, see it in multiple phases, and pledge commitment.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're familiar with Ruth Dufresne, obviously, then?
Yeah, Ruth's on our board, yes.
Yeah, and so Ruth has just joined Parks and Rec
Right,
as well.
and you'll be thrilled to have her. She's a,
Yeah, love
she
it.
does the talks at the marketplace,
Cemetery,
and yeah.
So we just had a conversation actually on the day that the egg hunt was canceled over at Hiram
Yes.
Sims, and this is going to become a topic at Parks and Rec. So I'd encourage you to come to the upcoming Parks and Rec meeting as well.
When is that?
I don't have that one on me. Do you know when that?
Is there one this?
Monday.
It's Monday.
This coming Monday?
Yeah, at 7:30 right here.
Okay,
But
right
it-
in this room?
Yeah, but it'd be great if you could even come to that particular meeting, and we can talk a little bit more about that from a Parks and Rec perspective, because as you did say, it is on Riley. It is at Riley Park, so therefore,
Yeah.
part of that contribution will
yeah.
be Parks and Rec.
I'm full circle, just briefly. I grew up in the house that I live in now. It was my parents' home, and they've passed. And through my married journey, we lived in Commerce Township. I was on Parks and Rec for like 20 years there, so I'm kind of familiar with park planning and stuff.
That
So,
helps, great.
and I figured you would want to include that in your park plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
That-
All right,
thank
great.
you. Dennis, do we have any open positions, or does it matter? Can we add a person to Parks and Rec?
I'm kind of, I got a full load at home right now. My
right,
husband's
but-
been kind of ill, so.
Yeah, but
Thanks
But
for
honestly,
coming out.
if you would help that process to get the recognition, because I think that's the problem all along. It's never been a recognized site as a historical site, and there's been arguments that
Well,
it shouldn't.
right now, though, the site is actually where it was.
Right, so personage, right?
Right, so, yeah,
That opens up doors for all kinds of stuff, right?
it really does, and, you know, again, this is just a little, I just wanted to throw it out there and say, hey,
Absolutely.
I got a couple calls at home this week, and, you know, folks voicing opinions and stuff, and I thought, well, I suppose I stick my neck out right now and just say, hey, there's still a lot of people that are very interested and willing to help. And I understand that there was some question with volunteerism, with the legality of insurance purposes, and I know through the evolution of everything, just with our old building, Stonecrest, it's, you know, if a release form for volunteers might be necessary, or, you know, you guys are smart people, you can figure it out, I'm sure, with the, but just know that there is still an interest, and I'd really like to see it done. My kids don't want all that stuff that I have stored.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a great
I got some
idea.
good stuff. So anyway, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janice.
Yeah, honestly, if you can get recognition, it opens up doors for money, because it's really right now just a burden.
If they can do that, I mean, I think anybody can come to the rec meetings and participate in that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Going to be receptive. Anybody can do that if they think they can do that. Again, I look at it from a practical standpoint. A lot of things have happened to that site. It doesn't mean that somebody can't undo it. I think even the lady says, that, you know, it's like it's a different site. They moved it. That changed things. Some of the stuff is missing, but it doesn't. You know, anything's possible if you. Sure. But that takes effort. That takes time. That takes a lot of effort.
Right.
Applications. And so I wouldn't say they can't get that recognized, but then whether that really gets us anywhere or extra money, I agree with you, Mayor. I believe that if they're able to do that, then it may open the door for some other funding, but you know, that's remains to be seen. So
Yeah.
invite them to the board meetings, to the rec, and see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
Because it is getting to a point where
Teeter,
decision has to
yep.
be made, you know, it really has.
I certainly would like to see if there's an opportunity, right? And that opens any doors, and there's some funding that comes along with it. It would be a really nice, I mean, look, you could put a small business owner in there, right? And have it as something they do, right? They pay rent back to, I don't know whether it goes to DDA or not, but they pay rent back to the city to have it as their office, right?
The city covers it by insurance. We cover it. So the
Yeah.
DDA doesn't really control it.
Right.
The council does.
Yeah, it's
So
just,
the council can kind of do what they want with it right now.
yeah.
And if you could get somebody that paid rent, that'd be great, you know?
Yeah, but if it's nice and it's cleaned up and fixed, and we take down the moldy piece of paper sign that's in front of it, right? It's a great idea. Anybody else for audience participation? That was really nice.
Thank you.
No? Okay. What do we? Yep. We're gonna go to closed session if you guys wouldn't mind. That would be it, and we'd be closing the meeting up. So if you stay, we gotta go in the back. If you guys head out, we can stay here.
Well, we can do it here and just
Yeah.
everybody out.
I'm gonna use the restroom real quick.
Yeah, take a 5-minute break.
I want to stay in.